The Sinn Féin president, Gerry Adams, is facing further questions about why it took him years to tell police his brother had confessed to abusing a daughter. Yesterday, Liam Adams was convicted of the rape and sexual abuse of his daughter Anya from the age of 4. She told Gerry Adams in 1987, and 3 years later, Liam Adams confessed to his brother. But it was 2009 before Gerry Adams told police about that confession. Conor McCauley reports.
He didn't testify at the trial which finished yesterday, but Gerry Adams did give evidence to the first collapsed case at which his brother Liam faced those child abuse charges. He was asked how much he'd known, when he'd known it and who he'd told. During cross-examination, lawyers drew on what he'd said to this man, journalist Chris Moore, who'd done a UTV documentary on the case in 2009.
One of the claims that Gerry Adams made in our programme was that he'd become estranged from his brother for 15 years. Well, one of the journalists involved in the Sunday paper, Suzanne Breen, she showed that wasn't the case because she dug up a photograph of Gerry with his brother Liam in Dundalk.
That assertion that he'd been estranged from his brother for 15 years after first learning of the abuse in 1987 was put to the test at that first trial. Gerry Adams was handed a succession of photographs of himself and his brother Liam taken at various political and family events in 1991, 96, 97, 98 and 2003. Under oath he said, "He was out of my life for a time. I never denied being in contact with him." But the more serious question is when Gerry Adams told police his brother had confessed the abuse to him. That confession happened in the year 2000. When police interviewed Mr. Adams in 2007, he didn't mention it. But in 2009, around the same time UTV was preparing its documentary, he made a second statement to the police in which he told them that Liam Adams had admitted what he'd done. That delay was something he was asked several times about this afternoon.
Gerry, another issue that cropped up in court was that your brother had told you in 2000 about the abuse, but it was 2009 when you went to PSNI. Could you have gone much sooner to them about it?
Well, again, I've answered that question in detail, and you seem to be, with respect, just ignoring what
Gerry, you say there's a lot of disinformation.
Bear with me.
So set the record straight.
Bear with me. Let me finish the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that this is a traumatic ordeal for Anya, but for all of my family, and we do need the space to deal with all of these matters, and that's what I respectfully asked you to do.
But his political opponents insist he could bring greater clarity about his role in all of this, drawing comparisons with the abuse scandal in the Catholic Church.
I don't see where the difference exists, and perhaps Sinn Féin can explain where the difference exists. I think Gerry Adams acted wholly inappropriately. He set the wrong example to his constituents, and I would wish that Sinn Féin would make it very, very clear that anyone who knows anything about child abuse, child sexual abuse, that they come forward and they tell the appropriate authorities, and that is properly followed through, and people are brought to court and charged, such as Liam Adams was yesterday, and sentenced for their crimes.
Mr. Adams also said the police had been aware of the abuse of his niece since 1987, and a huge amount of what he called disinformation was being flung about. He said he wasn't prepared to talk about the issues beyond what he'd already said. Conor McCauley, BBC Newsline.